On June 12th, the European Commission issued a statement imposing additional tariffs on new energy vehicles imported from China, and specifically named BYD, Geely, and SAIC, three Chinese automakers. What's the underlying purpose behind the used tariffs? Why did they specifically target these three companies? And how should we navigate this situation? These three questions are interconnected and equally important. There are two iron rules in international trade. First, when products can't compete, impose tariffs. Second, throughout history, countries that impose tariffs rarely won. Looking at the history of the automotive industry, the rise of Japanese cars serves as a perfect example. During the Korean War, the United States began heavily supporting Japanese industry, with American auto giants like Ford and GM establishing joint ventures or technical partnerships in Japan and introducing advanced automotive production technology. But Americans didn't anticipate that in the 1970s, Japanese cars would start exporting to the US market thanks to their affordability and fuel efficiency. American automakers spent 7 to 8 years lobbying the US government, raising tariffs on Japanese cars from 2.9% all the way to 20%. But this couldn't stop Japanese cars from reaching the top sales position. By President Reagan's time, seeing that tariff policies weren't working, the US directly used state power to force Japan to voluntarily limit car exports to America, which barely helped American automakers survive the 1980s. After all this turmoil, traditional American automakers never regained their former glory, and when the auto industry entered the new energy era, Chinese automakers successfully achieved a lane change overtaking, shocking the international market with higher technology and better value. Facing widespread technological disadvantages, the EU once again wielded the big stick of market intervention to obstruct Chinese automakers' entry. However, history has proven that tariffs are often ineffective. Frequently, when local companies gain tariff advantages, they often neglect technological research, instead becoming increasingly reliant on tariffs, figuring they can just impose higher tariffs on imports rather than compete technologically. So who would bother with difficult research and development? This is why imposing tariffs often fails. So, why would the EU still brazenly launch a tariff war? Besides American influence, additional tariffs can indeed provide local companies with a protection period. In other words, Europeans are gambling that European companies can achieve technological breakthroughs during this protection period and newly grasp the power to define industry standards. Europeans are willing to set aside their gentlemanly demeanor, to personally undermine free trade rules, all to give Europe's automotive industry, which employs tens of thousands and accounts for 7% of EU GDP, a chance to technologically catch up. Therefore, the EU isn't just imposing tariffs this time. They're also specifically targeting China's three major automakers. In the so-called anti-subsidy investigation, the European Commission demanded Chinese companies provide detailed battery compositions and formulas, all components and raw materials, itemized purchasing information, and supply chain layouts. This appears to be a case of, if you can't innovate, just steal. However, this also provides insights for Chinese automakers to break through, beyond government-level countermeasures, for China's new energy vehicle companies. Besides continuously improving core technologies, they must firmly grasp the power to set industry standards. Only then can the UIS tariff policies be rendered ineffective. As we all know, the core of electric vehicle technology lies in battery safety, performance, lifespan, charging temperature, and low-temperature performance. These battery metrics are the most crucial factors in evaluating new energy vehicle performance. Chinese EV companies have consistently focused on battery technology development, continuously introducing stronger performance and higher standards, firmly maintaining control over industry standard setting. On June 27th, Geely officially launched its self-developed new generation blade-style lithium iron phosphate battery, the Shield Short Blade Battery, marking the first time military-grade safety standards were introduced to the industry. During testing, the Shield short blade cell passed an 8-needle simultaneous puncture test, where 8 5mm steel needles pierced it simultaneously, and after 1 hour, the cell showed no smoke, no fire, no explosion. The Shendun short blade battery pack easily passed 6 extreme sequential tests, including seawater corrosion, high-altitude extreme cold, high-frequency, 26-ton bottom scraping, overload, rolling, single-pack side impact, and direct flame exposure. Safety always comes first for consumers. With such high new battery safety standards, European competitors' catch-up path has undoubtedly become hellishly difficult. When you add the 3,500 cycle lifespan, which enables safe driving for over 1 million kilometers, equivalent to circling the Earth 25 times, plus maintaining over 90% capacity at minus 30 degrees Celsius, European companies will probably need another 8 to 10 years to catch up. The facts will prove that, facing technological disadvantages, Europeans frequently resorting to investigations, tariffs, and other undignified methods will ultimately harm both others and themselves. The Shendun short blade battery, through such technological breakthroughs, reaching industry peak innovation, will inevitably render Western tariff blockades ineffective, winning global respect for China's independent automotive brands.